What if the key to solving today's biggest problems isn't more data, but better questions? In a world oversaturated with information, we often find ourselves reacting rather than reflecting. We're quick to take sides, defend ideologies, and scroll endlessly through headlines. But when was the last time we truly questioned our own assumptions? What if, instead of shouting louder, we paused to ask better questions? What if the ancient tools of philosophy, tools that sparked revolutions of thought, were brought back into our everyday conversations? That's what we're exploring today. Welcome to The Unfolding Journey, a channel dedicated to deep thinking, meaningful inquiry, and the timeless pursuit of wisdom. Here, we don't just follow trends. We explore the ideas that shape human experience. If you've ever found yourself wondering about truth, justice, identity, or meaning, you're in the right place. Today's video dives into how Socratic inquiry, a method from ancient Greece, can reawaken thoughtful dialogue in our modern public sphere. Let's begin. Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, never claimed to be a teacher in the traditional sense. He didn't lecture, publish books, or give grand speeches. Instead, he asked questions, simple, probing, often annoying questions that forced people to think deeply and examine their beliefs. His goal wasn't to win debates, but to search for truth through dialogue. This method, now called the Socratic method, involves asking a series of questions that lead a person to reflect, clarify, and often revise their views. At its core, it's not about having the right answer. It's about being committed to the right question. This method is more than a philosophical exercise. It's a practice of humility. Socrates believed that recognizing our ignorance is the beginning of wisdom. In his words, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Today, we often mistake loud opinions for knowledge and certainty for clarity. Socratic inquiry invites us to step back, to admit what we don't know, and to engage with others in a spirit of curiosity, not competition. Some might ask, why should we care about ancient Greek methods in the age of AI, social media, and political polarization? Because philosophy teaches us how to think, not what to think. In a world filled with competing narratives, misinformation, and ideological echo chambers, we need more than facts. We need the ability to interpret, analyze, and question. Philosophy helps us examine our values, challenge our biases, and imagine better ways of living together. Whether it's ethics in technology, justice in law, or meaning in our daily lives, philosophy remains profoundly relevant. It's not just for academics or university lecture halls. It's for parents, activists, artists, entrepreneurs, and citizens. It's for everyone. When we bring philosophy into public life, we open space for reflection, dialogue, and deeper understanding. One of the most powerful aspects of Socratic inquiry is its ability to foster civil disagreement. Today, public discourse is often combative. We argue to win, not to understand. But Socrates didn't attack his opponents. He challenged ideas. He assumed the other person had value, even if their reasoning was flawed. This made space for real growth for both sides. Imagine if political debates were less about scoring points and more about discovering shared truths. Imagine if social media threads were less toxic and more thoughtful. It's not impossible. It starts with the questions we ask. Questions like, what do you mean by that? Why do you believe it's true? What might we be missing? These are the tools of Socratic inquiry, and they can transform any conversation from hostile to hopeful. So how do we actually bring philosophy, and especially Socratic inquiry, into our daily lives? Here are a few simple practices. 1. Practice active listening. Rather than waiting for your turn to speak, listen to understand. Ask clarifying questions. Reflect back what you hear before offering your own view. 2. Question assumptions. We all have hidden assumptions. Take a moment to ask, why do I believe this? Is it based on evidence or habit? This creates a habit of critical reflection. 3. Engage in thoughtful dialogue. Find people who disagree with you and talk to them, not to change their minds, but to understand their perspective. You'll find your own beliefs become more nuanced and resilient. 4. Use everyday philosophy prompts. At dinner, ask, what does it mean to live a good life? With friends, ponder, what is freedom? Even on your commute, reflect, what do I really value? Philosophy isn't abstract when it touches real life. These questions open doors to depth, meaning, and connection. We urgently need more philosophy in schools, not just as an academic subject, but as a practice of thinking and dialogue. When students learn to question respectfully, challenge ideas, and reflect on their own beliefs, They grow not just as thinkers, but as citizens. They become more empathetic, open-minded, and thoughtful contributors to society. The same applies to politics. Imagine leaders engaging in Socratic dialogue before making policy decisions. Imagine a political culture based on reasoning and inquiry rather than outrage and division. It might sound idealistic, but history has shown that ideas have power. Socrates didn't have a Twitter account, but his questions shaped Western civilization. Why not let them shape our future too? At The Unfolding Journey, we believe that philosophy belongs to everyone. This channel exists to make deep thinking accessible. Not watered down, but made human. We explore timeless questions, forgotten wisdom, and the stories that shape how we live and see the world. Socratic inquiry isn't about pretending to know everything. It's about keeping the conversation going. It's about recognizing that every belief, no matter how deeply held, deserves to be examined. We invite you to not just watch, but wonder. Not just agree, but ask. And not just consume content, but cultivate wisdom. If this journey resonated with you, if you believe, like we do, that asking better questions can lead to a better world, then join us. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe to The Unfolding Journey. Tap the bell to get notified when we release new episodes exploring philosophy, personal growth, and the search for meaning. And if there's a question you'd like us to explore, drop it in the comments below. We read every one. Let's bring the spirit of Socrates back to life, together. Cyclone, this is The Unfolding Journey. Keep questioning. Keep wondering.